Have you ever noticed how even healthy vegetables can sometimes spike your blood sugar levels instead of keeping them stable? Recent monitoring of diabetic patients has revealed that a favorite everyday food is raising glucose levels by up to 69% in diabetics. This isn't just a small increase, it's a significant jump confirmed by medical tests. Imagine eating something you think is safe and then quietly discovering it's seriously damaging your health. Doctors are sounding the alarm, warning diabetics to be extremely cautious with this vegetable. And today I'll show you exactly why it behaves this way and which safer options you can trust. But first, leave a like so more people with diabetes can receive this warning too. You know that comforting food that always shows up in fall? The one people think is gentle and harmless? At first glance, it feels like a safe choice. But what if I told you it's not always working the way you expect for blood sugar? Sometimes the foods that seem the most innocent can surprise us, and this one, with its warm color and sweet taste, is a perfect example. That's right, I'm talking about pumpkin. Pumpkin is everywhere here in the US. From pies during Thanksgiving to soups in the colder months. It feels like a food that should bring nothing but comfort, right? But for someone managing diabetes, the story can be different. Pumpkin can raise blood sugar more than people realize, especially if eaten in large portions or in sweet recipes. But here's the good news. When used wisely, it can also bring benefits. The secret is in how you prepare and enjoy it. Pay attention here, because this is where most people make mistakes. They go straight for pumpkin pie packed with sugar and cream and wonder why their blood sugar spikes. The truth is, pumpkin on its own can be very different from pumpkin loaded with sugar. Have you ever had that moment where you thought you were making a healthy choice, but later your numbers told another story? Share your worst food experience after your diabetes diagnosis in the comments. Your story might help someone else avoid the same pain. Pumpkin by itself has fiber, and that's what slows down sugar absorption. When baked or steamed, pumpkin can be comforting and gentle on your digestion. Many older adults find that it helps with constipation and stomach discomfort, which is common in diabetes. But here's the detail that almost no one talks about. Pair pumpkin with a protein, like a handful of nuts or a slice of chicken, and you'll notice a much steadier blood sugar line. This might sound simple, but it can change everything. Instead of going for pumpkin pie, you can make roasted pumpkin cubes with olive oil and a pinch of cinnamon. It's tasty, warm, and won't send your sugar levels racing. Have you tried something like this before? If you have, type the word balance in the comments, so we know you've experienced how pairing foods makes a difference. But this still isn't the biggest mistake most people make with pumpkin. Wait until you hear this. A lot of people believe pumpkin drinks like lattes and shakes are harmless because they come from a vegetable. In reality, those drinks are loaded with sugar and cream. That means the pumpkin itself is hardly the problem. It's what's mixed with it. The real trap is hidden in the extras. Pumpkin is also packed with vitamin A, which supports vision. And for older adults in America, eye health is one of the biggest concerns. Have you noticed how vision sometimes gets blurry after a big spike? That's one of the silent ways diabetes makes daily life harder. Using pumpkin the right way can give you comfort food while still protecting your eyes. Another thing to keep in mind, pumpkin is soft, easy to chew, and gentle on sore joints. Many seniors who struggle with arthritis or joint pain appreciate that. It's filling without being heavy, and when cooked simply, it doesn't weigh you down. Isn't it interesting how one small change in preparation can mean the difference between comfort and discomfort? If you want a simple recipe, try pumpkin soup blended with carrots and just a pinch of ginger. It's warm, soothing, and helps with digestion after a long day. And it doesn't have to spike your sugar if you keep it light. Do you see how easy it is to make something feel like comfort food without losing control of your health? But here's the part most people miss: portion size. Even healthy foods can work against you if the plate is too full. One small bowl of roasted pumpkin or soup can keep you satisfied without pushing sugar levels high. Too much, though, and it starts to behave like any other starchy food. That's where moderation comes in. Have you ever sat down thinking, it's just a vegetable, I can eat as much as I want, and then felt the consequences later? Write the word truth in the comments if that's ever happened to you. Sharing your experience can help someone else feel less alone, because here nobody walks this road alone. And here's another tip: combine pumpkin with greens. Adding spinach or kale on the side balances out the sweetness and adds even more fiber. It's a simple American-style meal that feels hearty and safe. And the best part? You won't feel those uncomfortable sugar highs that leave you drained afterward. Pumpkin can be tricky, but it doesn't have to be your enemy. It can be your ally if you respect it. Treat it like a comfort food that needs balance, not like an excuse to load sugar into your diet. Doesn't it feel good to know you can still enjoy familiar foods with just a little adjustment? So remember this, pumpkin is not bad by itself. The problem is often how we prepare it. If you stay away from pies and sugary drinks and instead roast it or make a simple soup, it can bring comfort without harm. Hold on to this thought, because it might be the one thing that keeps your sugar from swinging out of control. Pumpkin is warm, familiar, and part of everyday life here in America. But for someone with diabetes, the way you use it matters more than the pumpkin itself. That's the key most people overlook, and it's the detail that can make the biggest difference in your day-to-day health. Did you know that many dishes that seem healthy for diabetics can actually be dangerous? Discover the recipes that really work. Stop feeling limited or insecure in the kitchen. My book brings together delicious and easy recipes specially created to keep your blood sugar under control and add more flavor to your life. I've already helped thousands of diabetics eat better, feel happier, and achieve a lighter life with my book. Every recipe has been tested and approved by those who understand the needs of people living with diabetes. Click the link in the first comment of this video now and get immediate access to the book that will transform your meals today. There's another food that often looks so healthy and colorful that people assume it must be safe. You see it in salads, juices, and even roasted on the side of a nice dinner plate. At first glance, it feels like something that should only bring benefits. But if you're living with diabetes, this food has two sides you need to know about. I'm talking about beets, also called beetroot, a vegetable many seniors in America enjoy without realizing what it can do to blood sugar. Beets have a natural sweetness that surprises many people. They can make your plate look beautiful and give a burst of flavor without needing sauces. But here's where most people go wrong. They eat too much of it, thinking it's just a vegetable, it can't hurt. The truth is, beets can raise sugar levels fast if you don't pay attention to portion size. Have you ever had that moment when your sugar jumped after a meal you thought was healthy? If so, type the word "real" in the comments. But let's not stop here, because it's not all bad news. Beets have something powerful inside them, nitrates. These compounds can help open up your blood vessels, improve circulation, and even lower blood pressure. And for someone living with diabetes, better circulation means less pain in the legs and less of that heavy, tired feeling after walking. Isn't that something worth keeping in mind? Here's where it gets tricky though. While beets can help with circulation, their sugar content can still be a challenge. That's why the way you prepare them matters so much. Have you ever roasted beets in the oven? They come out sweeter than candy, and that sweetness can be dangerous if you're not careful. But steaming or boiling them keeps the sugar impact lower. This little detail can make a big difference. And I know you've probably seen beet juice being sold as a miracle drink. But pay close attention here. This is where most people get fooled. Beet juice removes the fiber that slows down sugar absorption. That means you're left with a fast spike that feels almost like drinking soda. Have you ever tried beet juice and felt shaky afterward? If that happened, tell your story in the comments, because it could help someone else avoid that same mistake. The good part is that beets are rich in fiber when eaten whole, and that fiber is what helps slow down digestion. This can help with stomach problems that many older adults face, like constipation or bloating. So yes, there's a safe way to eat beets without harming yourself. It's all about keeping them whole and balancing them with other foods. But here's a little secret most people don't talk about. Beets taste amazing when combined with vinegar or lemon. That sour kick helps slow the sugar impact even more. Imagine a simple beet salad with apple cider vinegar, onions, and a sprinkle of parsley. It's refreshing, light, and safer for your blood sugar. Doesn't that sound like something you could enjoy on a warm afternoon? And yet, the danger is still there if the portion is too big. 1 or 2 small slices in a salad might be fine, but filling half your plate with roasted beets is where people go wrong. This is exactly where many Americans make mistakes at family dinners. They see the bright red color and think, healthy, without realizing what's really happening inside their body. Beets also support brain health because they help bring more oxygen to your brain. That can mean better focus, less fog, and even improved memory. For older adults who sometimes struggle with confusion after blood sugar spikes, that's something worth paying attention to. Can you see how this vegetable is not all good or all bad, but depends on how you use it? And let me ask you this. Have you ever had blurry vision after eating something sweet, even when it wasn't candy? That's the same thing beets can do if you go overboard. The sugar inside them can temporarily change the way your eyes focus. If you've ever experienced that, write the word vision in the comments. You're not alone. Many seniors have shared the same struggle. Here's another tip. Pair beets with proteins like eggs, beans, or a little fish. That combination slows digestion and makes the sugar rise much smaller. It's a simple way to keep enjoying the color and taste without paying the price later, and it works with American-style meals you're already used to, like a side salad or a dinner plate. But this still isn't the worst mistake people make. Wait until you hear this. Pickled beets in jars, often sold in grocery stores, are loaded with sugar. They look like a healthy snack, but the syrup inside can be just as bad as soda. If you've been buying them, you might want to check the label next time. Have you ever been surprised by how much sugar was hiding in something you thought was healthy? Share that story in the comments. One thing that makes beets tricky is that they're often served in holiday meals. At Christmas, Thanksgiving, or family gatherings, they show up in colorful dishes, and that's exactly where people forget moderation. Surrounded by family, you don't want to think about numbers, but your body always keeps track. That's why planning ahead makes a huge difference. Think of this. Instead of piling beets on your plate, take just a few slices and mix them with leafy greens. Add cucumbers, tomatoes, and maybe a boiled egg on the side. That way you still get the taste, the fiber, and the benefits, but you protect yourself from the sugar spikes that can ruin your evening. Doesn't that feel more doable than cutting them out completely? The biggest mistake people make with beets is drinking them. Smoothies, juices, and energy drinks with beet powder look like health products, but they're just sugar bombs. And what happens next? A quick spike, followed by that tired, drained feeling. That's not what anyone with diabetes needs. Pay attention here, because this is where most people fall without realizing it. Beets can also help with joint pain because of their anti-inflammatory compounds. Many older adults notice less stiffness when they eat small amounts regularly. But here's the catch: too much, and the sugar impact can cancel out the benefits. Balance is always the missing key. Isn't it funny how the same food can heal and harm depending on how we use it? Have you ever noticed your legs feeling heavy or numb? That's circulation being affected, something very common with diabetes. Beets, when eaten carefully, can actually help improve blood flow and reduce that discomfort. But again, it only works when the portion is small. This detail can make a big difference in daily life. Here's something else people forget: leftovers. Cooked beets stored in the fridge taste sweeter the next day. That means the sugar concentration feels stronger when you eat them later. Many people don't realize this, and that's why their numbers surprise them. If you've ever had that happen, type the word surprise in the comments so others know it's not just them. Beets also help clean the liver, which is important for anyone taking medication daily. A healthier liver can process those meds better and leave you feeling less sluggish. But remember, the liver doesn't need too much sugar either, and that's why small amounts of beet are better than big portions. Think about this simple recipe. Shred raw beets into a salad with cabbage and carrots. Add a squeeze of lemon juice, and you've got a crunchy side dish that's refreshing and not too heavy on sugar. Doesn't that sound like something easy to add to your week? But the detail almost no one shares is that raw beets can be safer than cooked, since cooking makes them sweeter. That's why grated beet in a salad is often better for diabetics than roasted beet cubes. This little adjustment could mean steadier numbers for you. And here's the question: what was the most surprising food that ever spiked your sugar when you thought it wouldn't? Share it in the comments, because your answer could open someone else's eyes. Here, your voice is important. Beets are not the enemy, but they are not always a friend either. They sit in that middle space where they can help or hurt depending on your choices. That's what makes them so powerful and so dangerous when misunderstood. If you ever feel tempted to drink beet juice, just remember the crash that follows. That memory alone might save you from a rough night. And if you ever made that mistake before, you're not alone. Many seniors have gone through it. Write the word lesson in the comments if you've ever learned this the hard way. Now picture yourself sitting at the table with family, and instead of avoiding beets, you take just 2 thin slices, pair them with a protein, and enjoy the flavor without worry. That small shift lets you stay part of the meal without paying the price later. Doesn't that sound better than cutting it out entirely? And don't forget this, eating beets with vinegar or lemon not only lowers the sugar hit, it also makes them taste fresher. It's an easy American-style trick that keeps the food safer for you. That's something worth remembering. Beets are colorful, sweet, and powerful. They can be a blessing or a burden, depending on how you welcome them to your plate. Hold on to that thought, because it's the detail that can make a huge difference in how you feel every single day. So next time you see beets at the store, think twice before putting a whole bag in your cart. Choose just a few, plan your portions, and enjoy them wisely. That way you'll still get the benefits without the spikes. Doesn't that sound like the kind of balance we're all searching for? Beets have been misunderstood for so long. People either praise them as miracle foods or avoid them completely. But the truth lies in the middle, and once you see it, you can finally take control of how this vegetable fits into your life. And that's the part I want you to carry with you today. Beets are not about yes or no, they're about how and how much. Once you see it that way, everything changes. Beets can still be on your plate, but only if you remember this balance. That's the real key, and it's the piece of advice almost nobody talks about. You've just seen how two everyday foods, pumpkin and beets, can completely change the way your blood sugar reacts. But here's the thing, this is only the beginning, because right now, I'm leaving on the screen another video that reveals how to eat smarter with diabetes, and it's packed with details most people never hear from their doctor. If you miss it, you might never know why certain foods that look safe are secretly making your blood sugar worse. Think about it. Haven't you ever wondered why your numbers jump even after a healthy meal? That other video explains it in a way that will surprise you. And the tips inside? They could save you from a lot of pain, frustration, and dangerous spikes. Don't wait until it's too late to learn this. This isn't just about avoiding problems. It's about feeling better, lighter, and more in control every single day. If you've been confused about what to eat, that next video clears the air in a way that makes sense. No complicated terms, just simple solutions that work in real life. So don't scroll past, don't put it off. Click the video on the screen now and discover what could change the way you manage diabetes forever. I promise, once you see it, you'll wonder why nobody told you this sooner. Don't miss out. Click it now, take a step toward better health, and keep building the life you deserve. See you there.